So our first reading from the book of Ecclesiastes is sort of like striking. It's kind of like this poetic beginning to the book. Vanity of vanities, thus say Crowley, all is vanity. And that's the theme of the entire book of Ecclesiastes, is vanity. And Crowley, who is our rabbi, our guide through the book, the one who's giving us this wisdom, he gives us two examples in the reading that we heard today. The first is the man who labors hard and works under the sun and is constantly striving to gain more wealth. And Crowley says, this is vanity. To whom will you leave all this? What will you do? And there's nothing that can be done because death comes for us all. By necessity, eventually, you will not be able to enjoy all of the fruits of your labor. The second is a bit more strange. The one who sits on his bed, even when he's on his bed at home, his mind is not at rest. He's anxious and worried, constantly thinking and stressing about his labor. This, too, is vanity. I think it would help us if we took a look at what vanity is. It's one of those words that we probably can use, but might be a little more difficult to define. It's pretty simple. Vanity is an exorbitant love of self. And it's expressed in multifaceted ways. The person who purchases very fine clothing and jewelry and constantly wishes to be seen by others. This is vanity. The person who acts maybe not in accord with their conscience, but in a manner that they know will win the praise of others. This is vanity. But vanity at its core is really a subcategory of pride. Vanity is an expression of pride. And what is pride? It's the sin that caused Adam and Eve to fall. It's the root of all sin. What does the serpent say to Eve when he's tempting her? What did God say to you about the fruit? If you eat it, you will die? No. You'll be like him. You will be gods yourselves. Pride, the desire to be God, the desire to own, the desire to possess, the desire to be in control. This theme, this concept, is apparent in the parable that Jesus tells us. So Luke chapter 12, young man says, Rabbi, tell my brother to give me my share of the inheritance. Jesus says, who appointed me your judge and arbiter? He's the judge of the world. It's a little But then Jesus turns to the crowd and says, beware of all greed. For though one may be rich, one's life does not consist of possessions. Then he tells the parable about the man who has this great harvest. Many people would assume this is a blessing from God. Prosperity gospel is alive and well, even in our modern world. And it's wrong. Jesus says it's wrong. And it's a very human response. I got to build new barns. I got to make bigger storehouses. And he works tirelessly, day after day, probably month after month. And then he's finally done. He's worked the fields. He's built the barns. Now I can rest. Now I can enjoy. Now I'm okay. Everything is finally okay. And God says to him, you fool, you're going to die tonight. The fruits of your labor, to whom will they go? And Jesus says to the crowd, and thus it will be for those who build up treasure for themselves but are not rich in what matters to God. So, brothers and sisters, we've been told to avoid vanity, which is a type of pride, and Jesus told us to avoid greed. All right, so we know what we're supposed to run away from. But what are we running towards? I watched an interview with a therapist, a psychiatrist. She works with really high-end clients, company executives, CEOs, and billionaires. And she was talking about her clientele, and especially with the incredibly rich, it always boils down to stress and anxiety and depression surrounding their work because, they're working 70 hours a week, 80 hours a week. It's crazy. And the question always arises, where does this go? What's the end goal? How much will be enough? And she says they almost always answer the same way. Just one more billion. Just one more. And then I'll be okay. Vanity. This too is vanity. Because it's never enough. Instead, we have to put our trust in our Lord. And Jesus says this. It's rather unfortunate. The lectionary just sort of ends, but the answer's in the next section. And we're not going to hear it next week, and we're going to skip it and go to a further part in Luke's gospel. But I know the scriptures really well. And then Jesus said to them, don't be worried about your life, what you are to eat. Don't be concerned with your body, what you are to wear. For life is more than food, and the body is more than clothing. Look at the ravens. They neither sow nor reap, and yet your Father gives them everything that they need. You are much more valuable than birds. Look at the flowers of the field. I say to you, Solomon in his day was never vested so gloriously as even one of them. And if God clothes the grass of the field in such a way, how much more will he clothe you? You are not even in control of the smallest matters in your life. Why are you constantly worried? Instead, be concerned of the reign of God and seek out those things. What's the solution? Because is work bad? Or is wealth inherently bad? Is possession inherently bad? No. What did Jesus say? Although one may be rich, one's life does not consist of possessions. It's all about faith. Do you really believe it? Do you put your money where your mouth is? Do you really believe that you're going to be okay? Do you really believe that no matter how bad it gets, personally or universally, we are going to be okay? Or do you sit up at night pondering the movements of nations and the future of the earth? Are you constantly concerned with the state of the nation and politics? Do you fret over your bank account, over your bills? Or do you have faith Because if we really believe that in the end we're going to be taken care of, then nothing in this world brings anxiety. So have faith, brothers and sisters. Avoid greed, avoid vanity, avoid pride. With a dose of humility, trust that in the end, your Father will take care of you.